Hi, and welcome to Coffee Chat, etc., the podcast where real women with real lives share real stories. I'm your host, Tracy Cox, and today I'm joined by Kelly, whose journey has taken her from Chicago to England and now Canada. Together, we explore how moving can change our environments, but sometimes those unexpected twists lead us exactly where we're meant to be. We talk about moving countries, changing careers, and why creating your own opportunities can completely change the direction of your life. If you've ever felt a little lost, wondered what's next, or found yourself standing at the beginning of a new chapter, I think you're going to relate to Kelly's story. And if today's conversation leaves you wanting more connection, encouragement, and inspiring conversations, I'd love to invite you to become one of our founding members at Coffee Chat, etc. We're building a warm, supportive community for women who want to make meaningful friendships, rediscover themselves, learn, grow, and navigate life's next chapter together. As a founding member, you'll be part of shaping our community from the very beginning, with exclusive benefits and opportunities along the way. You can find out more and join us at www.coffeechatecc.com. Now, grab yourself a coffee, get comfy, and let's start. Hi, and welcome, Kelly, today. How are you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing great.
Good. And whereabouts are you in the world today, Kelly?
I'm in Toronto,
Brilliant. But you're originally from
Chicago.
Chicago. Good.
Right.
And how did you end up in Canada?
Well, my husband got a job in Vancouver, and then from Vancouver, we moved to Toronto. So it's basically from my husband's work we have moved.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
Good.
brilliant.
And
Yeah.
are you settled where you are now?
Yeah, we've been in Toronto since 2014. I think we're settled.
Yeah. Good. Good. And what do you do there?
Well, life has taken me a few different places, and this is where I've landed. I was a social worker, but I didn't have the credentials to keep doing social work up here. I
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, my friends, they were like, "You're good with social media. Why don't you try being a social media manager?" And I've been doing that freelance for several years, but now I've moved on into podcasting.
Excellent. So you've got your own
Mhm.
podcast.
Yes, it's called It's
Great.
the Groove.
Yeah. And it's all to do with music, isn't it?
Yeah, we talk about our favorite music and the stories behind the songs, the people in the liner notes that don't necessarily get the spotlight. We highlight them in some
Yeah.
cases. Yeah.
Great. Good. And kind of what led you to that then, Kelly? Was that because you moved around a lot? Was there something in your life that happened where you thought, do you know something? I've always loved music. I'm going to follow that.
Well, the my podcast partner, Dave, we have known each other since 2021, I believe. We met on
Yeah.
Twitter and we
Okay.
decided, we found out that we like a lot of the same types of music. And so it was like after my father died, Dave and I had been talking about doing a podcast, but we had never, took the steps to do it. But after my father died, I was like, yeah, I need something to uh, keep me occupied, and he would have
Sure.
loved it. My father would have really loved me being on the
Oh,
podcast.
amazing. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. Do you think it was the death of of your father that kind of led you to go, do you know something? Life is short. I'm just going to
Yeah,
go and explore something I want to.
yeah, do what you love.
Yeah. Great. And how many times have you moved in your life? Because I know we've kind of spoken previously and you're very similar to myself. You've moved quite a lot.
Yeah, my husband and I, we moved to New York, and then we moved back to Chicago, and then we had we got married and had kids, and then we moved to England, and we lived there for 2 years.
Okay.
Right outside of Cambridge, and
Lovely.
then we, moved back to Chicago, and then finally he got this job in Vancouver, and we've been in Canada since 2012.
Fantastic. What impact do you think that's had on you, Kelly, with all the moves that you've had?
I think it has made me realize that I need to pivot a lot more,
Okay.
not just stay in the same thing. It has actually helped me to grow as a person because I'm like, okay, I have to pivot to this, then I'll have to learn this. I knew
Sure.
nothing about editing podcasts before
Yeah.
starting. It kind of just landed in my lap. Dave was like, well, we got to edit this. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do it. So
So it forced you to learn new skills.
first, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Uh-huh.
That's really interesting because I've moved 53 times in my 53 years.
Wow.
And yeah, for various different reasons and a lot as a child. And coming to Spain a few years ago, I had a similar experience where I kind of, I suppose, just lost my purpose, if you
Mhm.
like. And I'm
Mhm.
an ex-social worker like you, Kelly. So do you
Mhm.
think that you've been searching for a purposeful kind of life when you have moved so often?
Yeah, I always wanted to be creative, but I
Okay.
got the degree in psychology, and
Yeah,
so, well, what do you do with that? You go into social work.
sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this has allowed me to express myself creatively.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And I think that's really important for us as women, because I don't know about you, I felt like I had to go back to university and study so that I could get what I would call a normal job, even though I used to go to work and there was just something about it that I didn't necessarily enjoy or like and felt quite suppressed. But I think as women, we're forced into these roles. Do you agree?
Do you know what? I actually enjoyed the social work. Well, even though I was
Yeah.
doing, adult protective services, elder abuse, I loved meeting the clients and hearing
Yes.
their stories because,
Yes.
they've experienced so much in life. I even met a Tuskegee Airman one time, it's just
A what?
a Tuskegee Airman.
What's one of those?
There was these black airmen in, World War II. Yeah,
Oh, wow. Very
yeah.
interesting.
So yeah, my life has been taking me so many places, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you're on to, do you feel like the podcasting now is about what you're moving forward to for the rest of your life, or is it something that you think is a stepping stone?
I don't know because now I'm kind of getting interested in I still want to do the podcasting, but I was a mom blogger at one point,
Okay.
and I
Interesting.
thought, yeah, I had two blogs, and I was reviewing products. Companies were sending me products, and I was
Oh,
reviewing them, and
wow.
I kind of got away from that, when I started doing the
Okay.
social media management, and now I wanna kind of get back into that influencer thing, and
Sure.
yeah, yeah, but, you know,
How well did you do with that then, Kelly? Did you have a large following?
I had a pretty nice following. Companies didn't have any problem sending me free stuff for me to review, and
Yeah.
actually, had giveaways and that sort of thing. So I kind of want to get back into that. And we were just talking about how we don't like being on camera. And as an
Absolutely.
influencer,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to just say, "Look, I'm gonna have to be on camera, and I'm just gonna have to get used to it." It's I said this year that I was gonna try to step out of my comfort zone more
Yes.
every
Yeah.
week, do something different, you know?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And so what have you done, Kelly, to step out of your comfort zone every week up there in Canada?
Well, I'm part of this group called Social Club 150.
Okay.
They the person who started this, she says that, people were searching for connectivity, after COVID and everything, and being online now is so toxic sometimes. So she started this club where you shut off your phones and you go meet people.
Okay,
Just,
that sounds really interesting.
yeah, they have different events. Like we learned how to play this card game. She has speakers sometimes. And for an hour and a half, we're not on our phones and we're connecting with other people in the room.
Fantastic. That sounds what's needed in this world today.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think people realize how much it was needed until, you go and you attend these events. So that's
Absolutely.
one thing I've done, and I've also started to, go to different places in the neighborhood, places that I've like, "Oh, I've walked by this place a million times and I've never been in. Let me go in,
Yeah.
take some video and then post it online." That's another way of being kind of like an influencer.
I can completely relate to that because I lived in Salisbury in England, which is 7 miles away from Stonehenge for A long
A long
time.
time.
And did I ever go to Stonehenge?
No?
Twice.
Oh,
Twice.
okay. Okay. All right.
And I think sometimes you get these openings where you view the world in a different light, and going to somewhere local that you've never been to is actually really interesting and opens your eyes up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I work from home, so I'm never really going out a lot, and
Yeah,
I know how to get to certain places in Toronto, and that's it, and I never really explored the neighborhoods that are around me, which are really great neighborhoods. There are a lot of great things. So that's another thing that I said this year I'm going to do, my kids don't
that's
need
great.
me anymore. I need to get out,
Yeah.
and I don't know anybody up here really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that when I came to Spain as well, Kelly, I set up a coffee group in Spain. In fact, I didn't set it up. What I did was I put one post out on Facebook and said, "Hi, I'm new here. Does anybody fancy a coffee?" And a few women turned up, and then the next week a few more, and the week after a few more. And it just grew and grew and grew. And I think as women, we're really good at doing this, connecting others. Eventually, we've started doing charity events, community events. We've kind of spread out. And I think that's a great way to get out and meet people and this is the one thing this year that you said you were going to do is step outside your comfort zone. Would you do that?
Yeah,
Put a
yeah.
post out, see if anyone fancies a coffee.
Well, well, maybe. I think I'm more of a follower than a
Oh,
leader.
okay.
So if somebody
Gosh.
puts a post out and says, "Let's meet for coffee," then yeah, I would do. I've actually
Yeah.
done that a couple of times up here.
Okay,
Somebody
good.
has said,
Yeah.
"Let's meet for coffee." Sure, let's do it. Fine.
I wouldn't say I'm a leader. Stupid, maybe, but not a leader.
How well do you have
Yeah.
to know how to speak? Do you have to know how to speak the language where you are?
Where I am, it's mainly English people. So
Mhm.
it's quite easy to connect with other women. And it's an expat community, which is great. But I think to meet Spanish women, it would be incredibly difficult because of the language barrier.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and when you're communicating, obviously, that's the connection, isn't it? That you're talking about things that you have in common and you can connect on that level. Whereas I think with Spanish
Right.
women, it would be more difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah. And now I'm kind of bringing that coffee group online, which is fantastic because I'm meeting people like yourself and lots of other ladies that are in similar situations
Mhm.
that can help and support each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's, it,
Mhm.
it all starts with an idea, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, good. So have you got any other plans for this year on your list?
Well, just what I was saying, I'm traveling home. I will be going home in June
Yeah.
for a concert, which I'm pretty excited about.
Oh, what concert?
We're going to see Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind and Fire.
Wow. Two
I've
quite
seen Earth
big ones
Wind and Fire
then.
a couple of times, but I have not ever seen Lionel Richie. And we thought this would be great for the podcast. So we're going to go
Yeah.
and we're going to try to get some content there. So it should be
Yeah.
fun.
Good. Good. And what are your children up to now as well? Do they support your podcasting and your ideas of becoming an influencer?
Yeah, they are. My son, he, subscribed on YouTube and everything, but he is like, "I'll never listen because he hates podcasts. And my daughter is supportive as well, but, their music that we talk about is not necessarily the music they're interested in. So,
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of genre is your music?
We listen to pop and R&B. We focus, a lot on, 70s, 80s, and 90s music.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So if I've got any listeners out there that are listening to you, what I'll do is at the end of this, I'll drop your details so they can connect with you as well, Kelly.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Good. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Kelly?
Well, just a takeaway that I think the biggest thing that I've learned is not everything is gonna go my way. Everything's not gonna
Yeah.
go as planned.
Yeah.
Every time something didn't work out for me, whether it was moving countries or not being able to find work in my field or getting opportunities that I thought I should have gotten, it pushed
Yeah.
me to something different,
Yeah.
and that's how I grew as a person. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
at this point, I've realized I didn't need to wait for someone to give me opportunities. I can make my own,
Yeah,
and I create
brilliant.
them for myself. So
Yeah,
now I try to do that every day. I create content, I tell stories, and I connect with other people like you,
yeah.
and, that's just great.
No, it's great. And I think there's a lot of lost people out there, especially at our age, that have maybe going through perimenopause, menopause, children
Yep.
leaving home, moving somewhere different. And it can be, you can lose yourself by doing that. And I definitely did. I definitely lost my mojo when I came to Spain. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes you've got to give yourself time and space in order to maybe work through feelings and, emotions, because there's a lot of that when you move home or when children go home, or children leave the nest rather.
Mhm.
And, yeah, I think sometimes opportunities happen for you, and
Yeah.
just to grab those opportunities and make something out of it is great advice.
Yeah. My mindset now is that when something negative happens to me, and not to dwell on it, but to figure out
Yeah.
why it happened, and it must be for a
Okay.
reason. And that makes me shift. It's like, okay, let's go this way then.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Because I think, when I came here and I wasn't doing the work, because beforehand I'd had the children and I was working 100 miles an hour. I went from social work to teaching, which was
Mhm.
very, very busy. And
Mhm.
I suppose by stopping doing all of that, I was like, oh my gosh, I've only got me now. And actually looking at myself, and I had quite a tough year and had to go into therapy for a year just to
Mhm.
work things through, because it was
Mhm.
my need to be constantly busy. And coming out the other end, actually, that's when all the amazing ideas dropped in and the creativity set in as well. And it's
Mhm.
all stuff that I'm I'm naturally good at. So even though I'm doing this, it doesn't feel like work. It's not arduous because I'm using creativity, using connection like yourself, talking
Right.
about things that I love listening to and hearing about. I love listening to life stories of women, how they've overcome challenges in their life. And I think it can really help women out there as well to help themselves, which is
Right.
good.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. Yep.
Do you believe though, Kelly, because I do, that everything happens for a reason and you end up at a destination where you should be?
Yeah.
You do?
You think about that movie Sliding Doors, right?
Uh-huh, yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, everything happens for a reason. And, sometimes I think, oh, I would like to go back and change this. But, maybe if I
Mhm.
changed this one little thing, I wouldn't have my kids, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Very interesting. Good. Well, it's been lovely having you on the show, and thank you
Thanks.
for sharing your story. And if there's any advice that you could give to anybody today when they're moving and what's happening, what would it be? I'll
I
just finish on
like
that
I
one.
said before, I mean, everything that happens, to me or happens for me, there is a
Yeah,
reason why this happened, and not to dwell on the negative and be thankful for what you have,
yeah.
and just, push through.
Yeah, great. Good. Well, I look forward to hearing what you're doing next, Kelly. I'll be sure to follow you and see your influencing rising up.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that.
It'll happen. Everything happens for you.
Yes, yes.
Brilliant. Well, take care, Kelly, and thank you very much for
Thanks, you
coming on the
too.
show today. Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, bye.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this conversation has inspired you, encouraged you, or simply reminded you that whatever chapter you're in right now, you don't have to navigate it alone. If you've enjoyed today's episode, I'd really appreciate it if you could follow or subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a rating or review it and share it with a friend who might need to hear this conversation too. Every share helps us reach more women and grow this incredible community. And if you're looking for more than just a weekly podcast, I'd love to welcome you into our Coffee Chat Etc. founding membership. We're creating a supportive community for women who want genuine connection, meaningful conversation, connections, personal growth, inspiration, and a place where they truly belong. Together we'll laugh, learn, support one another, and remind each other that it's never too late to write a new chapter. You can find out more and join us at www.coffeechat. Until next time, be kind to yourself, keep believing in what's possible, and take care.